Wow. When Rabbi said we crossed over, crossing over, Mihamoka, who is like you to take us across to the war zone. And I just want to thank you all were with me, my good friends here, like Oscar and Jose and Sharon and all of you all who are with me every week. You were praying for me, as well as my Hever Torah group with Rabbi Taub and Rabbi Russell and all the rest, and then my Musar big brothers and uncles were with me in prayer. And there's something that hits you when you sign a little release that says, I'm knowingly going to a war zone, and I relinquish all legal recourse, and I give up all my rights, and it really hits home. And we're going to hear from Rabbi Lewis tonight, and pay attention to his sermon, because there's always something special in our sermons here. And just a few weeks back, Rabbi Stern came in and he did a sermon about his trip to Israel. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And after at Oneg, I'm with Rabbi Robbins, and I'm going, that was just so amazing. And boom, you need to go on that trip, Scott, period. And how am I going to do this in 2 weeks? Because the trip is leaving in 2 weeks. So miraculously, boom, able to raise the money and make things happen. And there we go. And it was the trip of a lifetime. And sure, there were dangers, and sure, it was scary sometimes. There was fear. But we did so much, volunteering, feeding soldiers, going to the hospitals and actually visiting injured soldiers and those who've been suffering. Meeting the families of hostages, going to Kibbutz Zakim, which is our sister kibbutz, right on the northern border of Gaza, and walking along the shore and literally picking up some of the shells from the combat that happened. And I'm saying, take some home, because we need you to bear witness when you come back what happened to us. Going to Kfar Aza, where literally walking where blood was spilt, and there horrible atrocities, and then to Supernova, where the actual festival happened. And Israel's different, because that's the one thing I get over and over again. And they're like, did you just get back yesterday? No, it's been 2 weeks. And but it feels like it was just yesterday. But it's broken. And there's fear, there's unease, there's doubt. And that's kind of just what I want to briefly share with you about, is the idea of brokenness, because I did break down, and many of us did in so many ways, physically, mentally, and to where, how can I even stand with bitter weeping and having real empathy with those who went through this kind of suffering. So one night, we stayed up in the hotel, and a bunch of us, just talking on and on and on, and we talked about this idea of brokenness, and just the idea too that as Americans especially, we don't want to, as guys too, and especially if a lady's a girl, you might see me cry, and it's something we resist, and we talked about embracing that brokenness, and I spent back and forth in text messages to Rabbi Robbins about this. Where's brokenness in our Hebrew Bible, and how can we hook into this? Because I think there's a message here that I've got to learn, and I got to take with me and take back to Dallas. And it's Psalm 51, and that's the psalm where David is talking about the same kind of stuff that went on, raping and murdering, that was put onto us. Our King David actually did. And he's talking about that, saying, Adonai, I'm broken. Make my sins whiter than snow. Redeem me. Take me back. And David says in the psalm, God's not pleased with sacrifice. What he's pleased with is his brokenness and his contrite heart. And it ties back to what we just did. We just sang, Adonai Saftai Tiftak. Ufi Yagid Tehilateha, and I open up my lips that I may declare your praise. And I never caught that idea. The rest of the story is before. It's grounded in this idea of brokenness. And I guess I could talk for hours, and we're going to talk on Tuesday night. The Federation is going to come to the museum. It's going to be fantastic, and everyone's welcome to hear. And it's not just from our synagogue, from all over the place, Sheriff and many of the others. But I guess this I'd like to share with you is just never sing that again the same way. I mean, maybe even we're going to do Kaddish in a little bit here too. And I know we've got people from outside, and we all are mourning with you, but just let ourselves be broken with each other and give in, because there's perfection, there's strength in this weakness. When we get torn down, there's a reason why in the military, in boot camp, we get broken down and then built back up, and life is a series of this. And I've got to let myself, that's what living is all about, and opening myself up to be taught. So let Adonai shatter your soul tonight. Suffer and break. Don't be afraid. Be weak. Be crushed. Mourn the dead tonight. Free the hostages. Be the hostages. Break and crumble. Why? Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. May never say those words the same way again. May I never say those words the same way again.